Hey guys, Wade Willis here for Wade's Weeb Reviews, here to talk to you guys today about Higurashi Go, Episode 7, and this is Part 3 of the Cotton Deceiving arc. Now, I think we're only going to have one more episode for this arc. I'm really excited to see what they do with that next episode. This one was pretty good. And in this video, guys, I'm going to break down the episode and go into my thoughts of the episode as a whole, the main points, as well as some of the differences from the cotton drifting arc that was in the original show. And then I'm going to go into some of my predictions, and I'll let you guys know. So those of you that don't want to hear any possible spoilers of the original and stuff like that, there's probably some of you in here that might be watching that. You guys are going to be able to turn off at that point. So overall, guys, pretty decent episode. And guys, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. I'm covering Higurashi in depth. I'm doing my live reaction videos. I'm doing these analysis videos. And then I'm doing also videos of the original Higurashi. And I'm going to get into Kai as well and doing in-depth analysis on those original arcs as well. So tons of Higurashi, and then and I'm doing other reactions and analysis of other anime that are coming out this season as well. So yeah, and if you guys like the video, please leave a like. I mentioned earlier I did really like this episode. Again, not one of my favorite episodes of this season, but it was pretty good and they set us up really well. I was a bit disappointed because in the last episode they were really trying to build up them going into the shrine, and I was predicting and hoping that something real crazy was going to happen in the shrine, but it didn't really happen. It was creepy like in the original, probably a little bit creepier, but again, the animation has improved. But yeah, it was a bit disappointed that we didn't get anything wild happening to that, because I felt like they really built up them going into the shrine for this episode. And the episode as a whole took place virtually in the shrine, or with Keiichi sitting on his floor on the phone with Shion. So tons of dialogue. We learned some about the world, and there were some things that I thought, again, they're introducing us to, I understand what they're doing. They're introducing us to more things in the world. So those of you that are new to Higurashi, you're going to be able to watch this and not be, you're supposed to be confused because it's a mystery, but you're not going to be, you're going to understand how the world works and everything. And the first thing I noticed, now those of you that have watched the original, let me know, but I don't remember Takano taking out her one of her journals and reading from it to tell Keiichi the story. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments below if that did happen in the original, but I don't remember that happening. I'm going to get into the main points. One, obviously Keiichi, Takano, and Shion, they break into the shrine. It's taboo. They're not supposed to do it. And Tomitake helped them do it. Now we learned that cotton drifting is also, it's a play on words, and it can also mean that the bowels are being drifted out, and they go into all this backstory that was, I thought it was really well done how they go into kind of the backstory of Oyashiro and the demons that were eating people, all that stuff, mad creepy. Obviously going into the guts or bowels part was also very interesting. Takano and Tomitake, they go missing, both of them go missing for the second arc in a row. Now this is important because, and I'm not going to give away much for those of you that have not watched the original, but it doesn't happen that exact way in the original. So something's changing here, and I'm going to get into my thoughts on that later on when I go into predictions. But interesting that both of them go missing again, and they actually stole a van, which again I don't think happened in the original. Especially we didn't learn of this early on. And we also learn later that the mayor is missing as well. So, again, no one has been found dead yet, but now 3 people are missing. Very significant. Now, one difference, I already talked about Takano pulling out her journal, which I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure she didn't do that in the OG. Another difference is that we see that the Oyashiro model, its head is broken. And this is different than the original because in the original, I think it's the left arm, but one of the arms was broken off from one of the characters. I'm not going to go into who it is, but we get a flashback. The arm's broken. Now it's the head. Kind of fishy to me, and I'm going to get into that later on as well too. I mentioned the stolen van, and then the biggest one of the biggest shockers was Rika. She had that red thing go on in her eyes that happened in episode 2. Remember, we see her go into that, she goes into the other dimension, and she's talking about like how she's been through this 100 times. You guys all remember that from the second episode. Well, we see the red again, but she's not transported into another dimension that we know of, and is kind of like lecturing Keiichi and going in on him. It's also important to note the like metaphor that Keiichi uses for like kittens going into the shrine and all that. In the original, Rika refers to all of them as kittens, and like that whole story that Keiichi does, Rika actually did. I thought it was a well done episode. I wasn't like particularly impressed in any way. It was good. I have such high standards for this show, so I thought it was very good. Was I super pumped about like everything that happened in it? No, it was kind of more of the same for me. But again, I've just watched the whole original show, and I've watched the second arc through twice because I did a whole review on it. So I'm a bit overloaded with this part of the story that's happening right now. And yes, they are adding in different little elements and Easter eggs that it is piquing my interest in. It's the animation I like a lot, but again, to me, it's not blowing me away right now in this arc. I'm going to get into some of my predictions and like little things that really stuck out to me, get into those more. So those of you that are completely new, don't want any spoilers for the original, or maybe you just want to go in blindly with your own theories, that's cool. I'm going to get into mine here. Something seems wrong with Rika. Again, we know that like she's aware that she's gone through this 100 times. That would be mentally tough for any person. Like, think of the amount of times like Subaru's done the return by death. Not even close to the amount that Rika's gone through. And we see the mental strain that it's had on him. So I understand what she's going through is tough, but she's acting. But when that like red thing happens with her eyes, it's more like she's possessed than in the original when it switches and it's like the mature version of her and she's talking. It was that version, but it was way more negative and almost aggressive compared to the original like voice like that didn't. I don't remember the eyes ever going red like that. Rika predicted wrong in the last arc. She essentially told Keiichi, like, if you see Rika acting weird, it's you that's weird. And then he ends up like going in the face off with her. Now some people believe that he actually imagined that, and I can see where people are coming through. I can see where people are seeing that. I don't know if I agree with it 100%, but I get where you're possibly coming from. I still think she mispredicted that. And we can see, we talk about the deceiving things. I'm starting to see these deceiving arcs as deceiving Rika. Because now she has just almost given up on this arc completely just because Keiichi went into the shrine. Someone commented in my live reaction video that Rika's never defeated Shion, which, okay, I get that, but let me know if I'm wrong, and this may be a visual novel thing, but I don't think Rika ever tried to defeat Shion either, though. So she never beat Shion, but I don't think she's ever tried, really, like actually tried. So that kind of sticks out to me a little bit. Also, when Rika said that Takano's body should have shown up by now, okay, there's two ways to look at this. One is that, okay, she's given up on this arc, so she's not going to tell Keiichi that Takano is actually the big bad. And someone mentioned this commented this in my live reaction video, and I agree with them. I was thinking the same thing. Something's happened to her memory, perhaps, that she doesn't remember that Takano is actually the big bad, which I think that's what's going to end up happening, and that is probably better for the story if they have her somehow she lost her memory for that. I don't know. What do you guys think on that? I mentioned that the arm from the Oyashiro model was not broken. Instead, the head was broken. So something like someone went back into history and changed that situation where Satoko broke off the arm, because that was a whole ordeal. But now it looks like that didn't happen and the head came off. Maybe she still did it, but somebody went back and changed something somehow, and that is super significant to me. I've mentioned this in my other videos. I feel like Takano has some extra power somehow, or somebody's on her side that is like super powerful. Like, to me, the fact that Takano is making herself go missing means that she's learned from her mistakes, and she seems to be the only person other than Rika that remembers a lot of what has happened in the past, because Takano's making up for her mistakes. I know that people have said she was creepy in the original and the early arcs, but I feel like she's dialing up the creepiness to another level, like someone who knows everything that's gonna happen and is like, yeah, I'm gonna mess you guys up. I know you guys beat me before, but I'm about to show you up. And she's really, and this is a stupid analogy, but it works here. It seems like she is playing chess while Rika is playing checkers right now, and assumes that everything's going to play the way that it should play. I really feel like something happened to Rika's memory, though, because it doesn't, she's really playing this wrong. And if they did something to her memory that makes it a lot more interesting for the future of this season. And yeah, I feel like there's another god involved. We know Rika's got Hanyu. I believe it's Hanyu. I can't remember the name exactly, but you guys know who I'm talking about. She has kind of her on her side. I feel like Takano has a different god on her side now somehow, or someone that's sided with Takano has some deity on their side. It's the only thing that really makes sense to me. And again, something's going on with the clinic that still hasn't been touched on since the first arc of this season. Something's going on there. And again, guys, I'm beating a dead horse. Satoshi still not mentioned. We're all the way to episode 7. I thought they were going to drop him being important this arc, which I thought would make sense, but they must be waiting till the next arc, because I think the next one is one that follows Satoko pretty thoroughly. If I'm wrong on that, let me know though, guys. I am liking Go a lot, but I don't know. Again, I hope this is the last arc, or maybe they do one more where it's almost the same thing, and then there's going to be some big twist in this next episode. Whether it's Mion actually going bad, or Keiichi going bad again, or I was hoping a big reveal with Takano in this arc, but maybe they're going to hold that on longer. We're starting to get to the point where they're going to have a big reveal of Takano soon, or I do not see a way that they're going to finish this season or finish this story in 24 episodes. It'll have to be 2 seasons, which I'm cool for, but I haven't seen anything about a season 2. And I'd be pretty annoyed if they planned on a season 2 and it doesn't get done, and I'm sure everyone would be really upset about that too. But yeah, what do you guys think about my theories? Do you think they're stupid? What are your guys' theories? Guys, remember, if you're putting them down in the comments, just put like spoiler and do a few returns and then get into the theory. This has been super fun getting into these, and I'd love to do this more. So